What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, what is really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up 4.46%, 252 the low, $2.70 so far the high. So pretty interesting day. There is a couple different attributing factors that's really pushing Lucid higher. One is just largely no data points coming out today, so it is more of a technical driven day, and in Lucid's case, it is kind of above that 50-day moving average, and generally that is very, very optimistic. So that's kind of point number one. Secondly, there was also this new analyst rating that did come out. I believe it was done Friday after hours, if this will load. So Friday after hours, if not on Saturday, but $3.50 buy rating, or hold rating, sorry. Ниcholas Stefan, who has a 44% success rating. So $3.50, very optimistic and bullish. And that's a nice change of events from the last couple. So $2.80, $3 and $2. Those were the last ones. So this is kind of the second thing. And then last but not least was this. So I think generally a lot of people know that Trump is not really a big fan of EVs. And so he's already stated that he wants to remove that $7,500 tax credit and also kind of move some money around that was allocated for, I guess, just charging stations. And so he wants to focus on batteries. And one thing that would really kind of very much benefit Lucid is this. It's been a while, so we haven't really heard all that much, but March 1st, 2023, Lucid Motors awarded military battery contract. There was a lot more articles around that time period, kind of just talking on what that would mean for Lucid and everything else. I don't believe that any dollar values were placed, if I remember correctly, but needless to say, this meets kind of Trump's plan, EV plan. So yeah, I think in general this is going to be maybe the saving grace for Lucid is just the battery technology. And even speaking on battery technology, Peters alluded to solid state battery during the most recent interview, the Bloomberg interview. So he kind of talked on China. And so when I read this, like, it was kind of ringing a lot of alarm bells in my head, but Lucid buys NIO and many others to reverse engineer Chinese rivals. So he did state that he wants to kind of head to China, and he just mentioned that it won't be anytime soon, but that is everyone's ultimate goal, right? And so by Lucid doing this, I think that's kind of laying the foundation for them to kind of weigh in the competitors. NIO largely is a success in China and not so much in Europe and stuff like that, nor the States. But in general, Lucid being able to do this, maybe it's them researching a little bit the solid state battery, or just trying to once again weigh out their competition to really move out or lay the foundation to move out to China by, let's say, 2030. So yeah, I think in general this is a very interesting article, and so it doesn't really give too much context, but I guess Lucid's just been seen buying a lot of non-American EVs just to kind of see what they're all about. And then last but not least, the only thing that I wanted to bring up was this right here. So Tristan posted inside information, total deliveries have already reached new all-time highs this quarter. Deliveries last quarter were 2,700. So pretty good stuff. And this is the second inside information that we've received in the last, what was it, 2-3 weeks. The last one was about Europe. Europe deliveries are very positive in, I guess, where we're at in Q4. So yeah, it's just a waiting game. So we have roughly around 2 weeks left for Q4, and maybe you might see some kind of fireside chats, Peter's doing more interviews just to drum up some last minute business or some kind of orders associated to the Gravity. So I think everything so far is turning out pretty a-okay. And even though Lucid is moving higher, you're seeing shorts trying to suppress it. And I think they're trying to suppress it on a technical level, but right now shorts are increasing 2.7 million shares. 22.38% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 266.64 million shares overall are being shorted. So kind of interesting on what shorts are doing, but I think just the writing's on the wall that Lucid is ready to move higher, and especially like I've been stating on a more of a technical stance as well. So moving on, 900,000 in calls, 259,000 in puts, 49% of all the options being done today are optimistic in nature, and of the call options that are being purchased today, you see a consensus for it to be above $3 and even some dabblings of $4. So for January 2025, you anticipate for $4 or I guess above $4. Same goes for February. So yeah, there's a lot more upside anticipated, especially the bears are anticipating sub 250. So pretty good stuff in that regard. These are all the transactions that have occurred so far on the secondary market above $100,000. So big money is definitely paying attention to Lucid, and they have been more and more over the last couple of trading days. So generally that's always a good thing, adds a lot of good support levels, because even right now the low for today is 252, and that is this right here, so the pivot. So with it at 268, it's trading between these two ranges right now, so 270 and 252. So bounced off of pretty much, as of right now, both spectrums. It just needs to really get above this 270 at least to continue this move higher. And as of right now, going over the actual chart, so leading into today, it was above that 50-day moving average. So I think generally a lot of people knew that it was going to kind of move higher. Next points to really watch for is that 100 and 200-day moving averages right over here. So 291 and then 299 are going to be the next kind of points to really watch for. But essentially, I think that they most likely will be hit around Wednesday associated to the whole rate cut. Because like I've stated, the whole EV sector is very sensitive to interest rates. So with that being cut, and potentially even Powell afterwards reiterating that they might be cutting more, similar to what came out on Friday on how they're stating, I guess, 3 rate cuts are anticipated for 2025, then this is where you'll see a very significant boom higher. And we've already known Lucid, when it wants to go up, it really goes up very, very fast. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on Lucid. What is your thoughts on that latest rating, as well as just generally this inside information? Do you think that it is accurate? And what's your viewpoint? I think generally, like, a lot of us knew that they were going to far exceed that 9,000, because if it is above this, just kind of playing devil's advocate, they're probably sitting at like maybe 99, like I'm just shy of around 10,000, if not a little bit higher than that. So yeah, I think the 2024 was a fairly big success, and hopefully that will continue on into 2025 and whatever else. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. What's your viewpoint on this? This was kind of, I think, the first time I've ever seen Lucid buying a competitor or another, I guess, EV to reverse engineer them. Normally Lucid's the one that, or I guess Lucid, the Airs are the ones that are getting reverse engineered so they can kind of decode Lucid. So what's your thoughts on this? Do you think that it's more confirmation that solid state battery is going to be at least a thought to Lucid going forward, or whatever your viewpoint is? So one final thing, I did launch a Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, so pop over there to take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.